Did you know a simple 5-cent coin could be worth millions? Moneybag, that's right. Today, we're diving into the world of rare US nickels and uncovering the most legendary, valuable, and insanely expensive 5-cent coin ever made. Top 1. Did you know that a simple 5-cent coin from 1980, yes, just a regular looking nickel, could be worth as much as $58,000? It sounds unbelievable, but this isn't a myth or a rumor. It's a real coin that has become one of the most talked about, most valuable, and rarest nickels in US history. A 1985-cent piece, seemingly ordinary, has shocked the coin collecting world, gone viral on social media, and left people across the country digging through their old change jars and coin collections in hopes of finding one just like it. At first glance, the 1980 nickel doesn't look like anything special. It still features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse, just like billions of others minted that year. But hidden within one specific coin lies a story of rarity, error, and astronomical value. What sets this coin apart is something that happened during the minting process, something that wasn't supposed to happen, and something that no one noticed until years later. This particular coin is believed to have been struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank metal disc that a coin is made from. For nickels, the planchet is usually a copper-nickel alloy. But in this case, the coin was struck on a planchet meant for a different coin, possibly a foreign denomination or a leftover from a previous minting run. That means the weight, color, and even the sound of this coin are slightly different. It's a rare mint error, and errors like these are incredibly valuable to collectors, especially when they're preserved in nearly perfect condition. This isn't just a story about a factory mistake. The coin was professionally graded by experts and found to be in extraordinary condition, with barely any wear. That kind of condition is known as mint state, and it significantly increases a coin's value. We're not talking about a coin that sat in someone's pocket for years. This is a coin that was somehow saved, untouched, almost frozen in time. That alone makes it rare, but combined with the mint error, it becomes something far more than rare. It becomes unique. When this 1980 nickel went up for auction, it stunned everyone. Some expected it to fetch a few $1,000s. But bidding quickly escalated. Collectors and investors recognized its significance, an ultra-rare error coin in mint condition from a modern year. The final price? $58,000. A nickel worth more than a luxury car. A 5-cent coin worth more than most people make in a year. Since that sale, this coin has become a legend. It's been featured in numismatic publications, shown off in YouTube videos, discussed on TikTok, and circulated through viral posts on Instagram and Facebook. People are fascinated by the idea that something so common could be hiding such extreme value. The 1985-cent coin is now a symbol of the hidden potential in everyday things, a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary stories. Collectors all over the country have been checking their old jars, coin rolls, and wallets, hoping they might stumble upon another one. Could there be more 1,980 nickels struck on the wrong planchet? Maybe. Could one be sitting in your collection, unnoticed for years? It's possible. That's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. You never know what treasure might be right in front of you. The 1985-cent coin that sold for $58,000 is more than just a valuable collectible. It's a piece of history, a mistake that became a masterpiece, and a perfect example of how rarity, condition, and curiosity can turn a small coin into a massive fortune. As long as coins exist, stories like this will keep surfacing. And who knows, maybe the next one will be yours. Top 2. In 1983, the US Mint produced millions of 5-cent coins, or nickels, just like it had done for decades. Most people saw them as nothing more than everyday change, useful for vending machines, parking meters, and little else. But hidden among the countless ordinary coins minted that year, one nickel would later rise to legendary status. A single 1983 5-cent coin would go viral, shock collectors, and become one of the most valuable and rarest nickels in American history, selling for an astonishing $56,000. This wasn't just a lucky find, this was a piece of history, a numismatic mystery, and a collector's dream all rolled into one. At first glance, the 1983 nickel looked completely normal. It featured the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. There were no unusual designs, no commemorative marks, no signs that it was anything more than a common coin. But the truth of this nickel's value lay beneath the surface, in the details, the material, the condition, and most importantly, a rare and dramatic minting error that would eventually turn it into a six-figure collectible. What made this particular 1983 5-cent coin worth $56,000 was an error that occurred during the minting process. It was likely struck on the wrong planchet, possibly a leftover planchet from a foreign coin or a different denomination. That means the metal composition was incorrect for a nickel, and the coin ended up with a weight, color, and feel that set it apart. These types of mint errors are extremely rare, especially from the 1980s, when the minting process was highly automated and quality control was more advanced. The fact that this error happened, and made it through production undetected, makes the coin incredibly special, but the value of this coin wasn't just because of the error. It was also in near-perfect condition, graded by experts as mint state. That means it had no wear, no scratches, no damage. It was a pristine example of an error coin, something so rare that even the most seasoned collectors had never seen another quite like it. The coin had been preserved, likely untouched for decades, sitting quietly in someone's collection or hidden away in a forgotten coin jar until one day it was discovered, authenticated, and sent to auction. When it hit the auction block, the buzz was immediate. Coin collectors, investors, and even casual enthusiasts took notice. A 1983 nickel commanding this kind of attention. It was unheard of. But the bids rolled in quickly, driving the price higher and higher. People understood what they were looking at. This was a once-in-a-generation find. By the end of the auction, the final price reached an incredible $56,000. The story of this 1983 5-cent coin exploded online. Videos and photos of the coin were shared across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Headlines called it the $56,000 nickel, and collectors everywhere began searching through their change in hopes of finding one like it. The coin became a viral sensation not just for its price, but for the idea that something so small and ordinary could be hiding such immense value, and that's part of what makes this story so powerful. The 1983 5-cent coin reminds us that value isn't always obvious. That a simple coin in your pocket could be a rare treasure. That even in a world of mass production, mistakes can turn into masterpieces. It also highlights how passion, attention to detail, and a little bit of luck can lead to incredible discoveries. Since that auction, no other 1983 nickel has surfaced with the same characteristics or value. That only adds to the mystery and allure of this coin. Is it truly one of a kind? Could there be another one still out there, sitting unnoticed in a drawer or buried in a forgotten collection? No one knows for sure. But what is certain is that this coin made history, and its story continues to inspire collectors and treasure hunters around the world. The 1983 5-cent coin that sold for $56,000 isn't just a rare piece of metal, it's a symbol of hidden value, a story of discovery, and proof that even the most ordinary things can become extraordinary. So the next time you hold a nickel in your hand, take a closer look. Because history has shown us that sometimes, the smallest coins hold the biggest surprises. Top 3. In the world of coin collecting, stories of unexpected fortune often begin with something small, an ordinary coin with an extraordinary twist. And perhaps no story captures this better than the one behind the 1981 US 5-cent coin that would go on to become one of the most valuable and rarest nickels in American history. This isn't just a collectible, it's a phenomenon. A 1981 nickel that, against all odds, sold for an unbelievable $62,000. What makes it even more fascinating is that it looked like any other coin, the kind you might toss into a tip jar or use in a parking meter. But this one was different. This one changed everything. At first glance, the 1981 nickel doesn't appear special. It features the same iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and the classic image of Monticello on the back. Billions were produced that year. It was just another piece of change in the pockets of millions of Americans. But beneath its familiar appearance lay a secret, one that would turn this ordinary nickel into a viral sensation and one of the most prized coins in numismatic history. The key to its incredible value lies in a rare minting error that only experts with trained eyes could spot. This 1981 5-cent coin was struck on the wrong planchet, possibly one intended for a foreign coin or an entirely different denomination. That means the metal content, the weight, and even the diameter of the coin were slightly off from what a standard nickel should be. These types of mint errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. They don't happen often, and when they do, they usually go unnoticed. But not this time. Even more remarkable, the coin was found in near-perfect condition, graded as mint state by professional coin graders. That means it had never seen circulation. No scratches, no dents, no wear. It was a perfect storm of rarity and preservation, a combination that almost never occurs. The odds of finding such a coin are astronomically low, which is exactly why it caused such a sensation when it was discovered. When the coin was authenticated and listed for auction, collectors took notice immediately. Word began to spread online, across coin forums, social media, and YouTube channels dedicated to rare finds. The buzz was electric. Everyone wanted to know more about the mysterious 1981 nickel. How did it survive in such pristine condition? How did a coin with a face value of just 5 cents command such an insane price? As the auction began, it became clear this was no ordinary coin. Bidding started strong and climbed quickly. Seasoned collectors knew what was at stake, a chance to own something truly unique. When the dust settled, the final sale price reached an astounding $62,000. That's right. A 5-cent coin sold for more than the price of a luxury car, more than a year's salary for many people, and more than most collectors ever dream of spending on a single coin. The sale didn't just make headlines, it made history. The story of the $62,000 nickel quickly went viral, spreading across social platforms and sparking a new wave of interest in modern US coinage. Videos featuring the coin racked up millions of views. Posts urging people to check their pockets and old coin jars flooded the internet. It wasn't just collectors who were interested. Everyday people suddenly found themselves fascinated by the idea that a coin so small, so familiar, could be worth a fortune. The 1981 nickel became more than just a coin. It became a symbol. A symbol of hidden value, of attention to detail, of the thrilling unpredictability of life. It reminded the world that sometimes, the most extraordinary things come from the most ordinary places. And it reignited passion in the hobby of coin collecting, especially for younger generations who saw this story and were inspired to look closer at the change they had once ignored. No other 1981 nickel like it has surfaced since. That fact only adds to the mystery and allure. Was it a one-of-a-kind accident? Could there be others still hidden, waiting to be discovered? The possibility is what keeps collectors searching, what keeps the excitement alive. Because the beauty of this hobby lies not only in history and artistry but also in the potential of discovery. The 1981 5-cent coin that sold for $62,000 remains a legendary piece of American coinage, a true modern marvel. It stands as a reminder that in a world full of repetition and routine, something rare can still break through, capture the imagination, and change everything. So the next time you find a nickel, don't be so quick to spend it. Look closely. Feel the weight. Examine the details. Because as this story proves, that tiny coin in your hand might just be the next great treasure. Top 4. In the vast and often surprising world of coin collecting, some stories stand out not just for the rarity of the coin, but for the shock value they deliver to the average person. One of those stories belongs to a 5-cent coin from the year 1994, a year that seemed like any other for US coin production. Billions of nickels were minted, used in everyday transactions, and passed from hand to hand without a second thought. But hidden among all that pocket change, one single 1994 5-cent coin emerged that would defy expectations, go viral, and eventually sell for an unbelievable $49,000. This coin didn't look special at first. It had the classic design that Americans are familiar with, Thomas Jefferson's iconic profile on the obverse, and the image of his home, Monticello, on the reverse. It looked like every other nickel from 1994, until someone looked a little closer. And that's when everything changed. The coin turned out to be the result of an extremely rare and unusual minting error. Experts believe it was struck on the wrong planchet, possibly one used for a foreign coin or even from a different denomination entirely. This kind of error doesn't happen often, especially in the 1990s, when the US Mint had become much more precise and efficient in its operations. But despite all that technology and oversight, this coin slipped through the cracks. That mistake turned out to be a miracle for whoever found it. What makes this coin truly remarkable isn't just the error itself, it's the fact that it was discovered in mint condition. That means it was never circulated, never scratched or worn down. It was flawless, almost as if it had been frozen in time. When it was submitted for grading, it received one of the highest possible ratings, instantly increasing its value in the eyes of collectors. The coin's discovery sparked immediate interest in the numismatic community, but what happened next took it to a completely different level. Photos and videos of the 1994 5-cent coin began circulating online. It started as a quiet buzz in collector circles, but soon it exploded into a viral sensation. Social media platforms lit up with posts about the rare nickel. TikTok creators, YouTube numismatists, and Instagram collectors all featured the coin, calling it one of the greatest modern-day discoveries in US coinage. The phrase $49,000 nickel quickly became a trending topic among both collectors and the general public. At auction, the coin exceeded all expectations. Bidding was intense. What started as a modest estimate quickly escalated as more and more collectors realized the true rarity and pristine quality of the coin. By the time the final bid was placed, the price had soared to an astonishing $49,000. For a coin with a face value of just 5 cents, that's nearly 1 million times its original worth. The coin's fame didn't fade after the sale. It became a legend. People across the country started looking more closely at their change, especially nickels from the 1990s. The idea that something so small, so ordinary, could be worth so much money captured people's imaginations. It inspired countless treasure hunts, garage sale discoveries, and coin roll searches. Everyone wanted to believe they might have the next big find hiding in their pocket. What makes the 1994 nickel even more fascinating is the mystery around how it came to be. Unlike coins from the early 1900s, which often became rare due to low mintage numbers or wartime material shortages, this coin's rarity came from an accident in a time of near-perfect automation. It's that contrast between a world of high-speed production and a tiny, nearly invisible flaw that makes this story so compelling. It reminds us that even in systems designed for perfection, anomalies can still break through and change everything. To this day, the $49,000 1994 nickel stands as one of the most unexpected treasures in US coin collecting history. It's not just a valuable piece of metal, it's a story of luck, curiosity, and attention to detail. It shows that incredible things can still be found in the most common places, and that anyone, anywhere, could be holding something priceless without even knowing it. So the next time you're handed change at the store, don't just toss those coins aside. Take a closer look. Inspect the dates, feel the weight, notice the color and shape. Because if history has taught us anything, it's that extraordinary value can often be hiding in the smallest, most overlooked places. And who knows? Maybe your 1994 nickel is the next legend waiting to be discovered. Top 5. In the everyday shuffle of coins through pockets, wallets, and cash registers, it's easy to overlook the small, ordinary pieces of change we use without a second thought. But every once in a while, one of those coins defies expectations, hiding a secret so powerful that it turns a common object into a priceless treasure. That's exactly what happened with a 1998 US 5-cent coin, what most people would call just another nickel. But this wasn't just another coin. This was a numismatic miracle, a minting mystery, and one of the most valuable and rarest nickels in US history. This 1998 5-cent piece would eventually shock the coin collecting world and sell for an eye-popping $46,000. The coin, at first glance, didn't seem like anything special. It had the usual design that Americans have seen for decades, Thomas Jefferson's profile on the obverse, and his historic Monticello home on the reverse. Tens of millions of these were minted in 1998. They're still found in circulation today. But this one nickel held something different, something no one could spot unless they were looking very, very closely. This 1998 nickel was the result of a rare minting error, an error so precise and unusual that it's believed only one or two examples may exist. The coin was struck on the wrong planchet, likely one intended for a foreign coin or an experimental strike. This resulted in a nickel that had an unusual color, a lighter weight, and a slightly off round shape. To the untrained eye, it could pass for a worn-out coin. But to an expert, or to someone lucky enough to question why their nickel felt strange, it was an instant red flag for something extraordinary. The coin's condition made it even more astonishing. It was discovered in almost perfect shape, classified by grading experts as being in mint state condition. That means it had never been circulated. No damage. No wear. No fingerprints of time. It was as pristine as the day it left the US Mint, a 1 in a billion combination of rarity and perfection. When the coin was authenticated and its error confirmed, it didn't take long for word to spread. The 1998 5-cent coin quickly made its way into collector circles, and then exploded across social media. Videos appeared on YouTube showcasing the coin's strange characteristics. TikTok creators began warning viewers to check your change immediately. Instagram posts featuring close-ups of the coin circulated widely, each one building more hype, more curiosity, and more fascination. People couldn't believe that something so modern, so recent, could already be worth a small fortune. When the coin hit the auction block, the excitement was immediate. Veteran collectors knew how rare a find like this was, and newer collectors, drawn in by the viral attention, were eager to own a piece of modern coin history. The bidding climbed higher and higher until it finally settled at a jaw-dropping $46,000. For a coin with a face value of just 5 cents, that kind of result is unheard of, but entirely deserved. The 1998 nickel has since become a symbol in the coin world. It represents how chance, precision, and preservation can align to create something truly historic. It proves that not all valuable coins are old, and that modern coins can be just as collectible and desirable when unique circumstances create something rare. It also reminds us that the minting process, while largely automated and efficient, is still a system run by machines, and machines can still make mistakes, but not all mistakes are equal. Some vanish unnoticed, lost in the noise of mass production. Others, like this 1998 5-cent piece, rise above, carrying with them the weight of curiosity, scarcity, and fascination. They become more than money, they become artifacts. Today, this nickel remains one of the most valuable and rare US coins from the late 20th century. It has inspired countless people to take a second look at the coins they carry each day. Collectors have begun searching through rows of nickels from the 90s, hunting for signs of other anomalies. And the buzz still lingers online, with new stories surfacing all the time about unexpected finds and overlooked errors that could be worth a fortune. The legacy of the $46,000 1998 5-cent coin is clear. Extraordinary value doesn't always come from age or gold or silver. Sometimes it comes from rarity. From a flaw that wasn't supposed to happen. From a perfect storm of mistake and preservation. And sometimes, it comes from something as humble as a nickel in your change jar.so. Before you spend that next 5-cent coin, take a closer look. Check the date. Feel the weight. Examine the surface. Because one day, a coin you thought was ordinary might just turn out to be one of the most extraordinary coins in American history. Just like the 1998 nickel that went viral and changed everything.